Bob, you ready?
I've never bought a suit through Amazon. I'm gonna have to try that.
You guys ready?
They don't make my size.
All right. I call to order the open to the closed session meeting on March 9th, 2026, and the time is 5 o'clock. Madam Clerk, will you do roll call?
Councilmember Miller,
Here.
Councilmember Thorpe,
Here.
Councilmember Woolsey. Here. Deputy Mayor Beaver,
Here.
Mayor Venable,
Here.
all present.
Any public comment?
No comments today.
All right, we'll move into closed session. And the time is 5 o'clock still. All right. You guys ready?
We're visiting.
Oh, so-
Yeah, sorry.
all right. We're going to open the regular city council successor agency authority meeting of March 9th, 2026, and the time is 6 p.m. Can we get Pastor Richie up here? And then Paul, will you lead us into the Pledge of Allegiance right after that? Thank you.
Well, let's pray. God, thank you for the opportunity to meet in this place, in the heart of our city, to do the business of the people of this community. God, we pray that as we've gathered together, you would give these men and women great wisdom to make the decisions that would not just be the best for our city, but would help us to be a beacon of hope and light to the surrounding areas. God, we pray that this evening that you would give us all a measure of your wisdom and patience when it's needed and grace when it's needed, but in all things, we would be good to each other like you showed us to do. So thank you for this opportunity to gather, and we pray at all those things in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Please join with me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Did you make it? Miss Anna, can you call roll call, please?
Councilmember Miller,
Here.
Councilmember Thorpe,
Here.
Councilmember Woolsey,
Here.
Deputy Mayor Beaver,
Here.
Mayor Venable,
Here.
all present.
All right. Mr. Graham, is there anything to report out for closed session?
Thank you, Mayor. Council, there is no reportable action out of tonight's closed session except on the first item, settlement direction was given by consensus. Thank you.
All right. Mr. City Manager, anything to, any changes to the agenda?
Mayor, Council, no changes to the agenda. Thank you.
All right, now we have the Yaps Dog of the Month.
Thank you for having me. My name is Jennifer Hurlbut, and I'm the Executive Director of Yucaipa Animal Placement Society. And I have the Dog of the Month here. His name is Togi, and he is a Bulldog Boston Terrier mix. You can't see him from up there. He's a little short stack, but he's got a curly little tail, and he is adorable. He is making friends here in the front row. And yeah, he's a great little guy. He smiles at everybody and demands kisses. If not, he will stare at you and then slobber until he can kiss you. But he's a great little guy. A couple of announcements for YAPS. We have our monthly vaccine clinic for free shots for dogs and cats coming up. It's the second Thursday of every month. And we also are rolling out our community pet pantry. So people who need assistance with dog and cat food, with any pet supplies, we're happy to offer those there at YAPS on the second Tuesday of every month. And then also we are having, in conjunction with our spring fundraisers, we're doing a new one where we're collecting shoes. So there's a company that pays us in donations for the weight of shoes. So if you're doing spring cleaning and want to drop them by, we are happy to take those. You could just drop them off in our parking lot anytime, Tuesday through Saturday, from 10 to 4. And we're open there in our front lot. So I'd love to bring Togi up and get a picture.
Sure, let's do it.
You don't want to try to pick him up, though. He's a chunker. He looks little, but he's not. Come on, buddy. Come on. Yes, you're a good boy. You're a good boy. Now you you. Bye-bye. Oh, and Luna got adopted, the big black.
Oh, good.
Yeah, Great Dane.
He wants to go.
Sweetie,
He wants to go with us.
I know.
We have emotional
I
support.
think
now.
Megan wants it. All right. Ms. Anna, do we have public comment?
We do. We'll start with Hanson Wong, followed by Kelly Moylan.
Good afternoon, City Council. My name is Hanson Wong. I live in 3515 Zero Court Street, Yucaipa, California. Thank you for the time and thank you for everything you do. The first comment, since I have to leave, since some people are coming to harass me from Texas, is the fact that I think we should really consider rescinding the current specific plan for the corridor project. I think this would help some of the owners, and I think they deserve our help on this. I think it would also help our budget not to spend the money on the referendum. So please consider rescinding it. Second thing, the Trails and Open Space Committee, along with Parks and Recs, there are some overlap between the two. Each of the areas does very good work. I don't think we should combine them because of their interests. I think they would get more done. I think it's important to the city. So my suggestion is that if there's any overlapping areas, see where's the best place to put the overlap, segregate it out, and that way you won't have duplicate efforts, which is not useful anyway. You're going to get a presentation on the blue zone. I think it's very important for us to consider to doing as much as we can because it'll help the city, it'll help people be healthier. Theoretically, there's a longevity phase, and when you get to my age, you want as much longevity as you can possibly get, okay? And speaking of the committees and commissions, our deputy mayor, I always wanted to use that term since you changed it. Our deputy mayor asked, how can we get reports on some of these commissions and committees? My suggestion is to give the standard 3 minutes to the committees to update on the most current thing they're doing or the thing that we should focus on so both the city and city council will know what's going on so that we can carry forth and see what way you can support it. Obviously, if you can come to the committees, that would be great. But, you have other things to do, family, work, and so on. So to hear it would be very beneficial, I think, to all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kelly Moylan, followed by Martha Glubka.
Hi. Never done this, so bear with me. I'm here on a situation of dog hoarding. I'm sure some of you have already heard over on I Street, where there is about 30 to 40 dogs. But the only issue, or the main issue why I'm here is the fact that most of these dogs are extremely aggressive and have killed neighbors' cats, neighbors' chickens. One of the concerns that I have is the kids that play at the baseball field. I have spoke with animal control, the captain, and she has told me she has her kids play there. And one of her concerns is she is always watching for these dogs to come out, possibly get out of the yard and attack one of the kids. And it's a concern for a lot of people. I do know that there are a lot of complaints. Some of the neighbors are afraid to take their kids to the park because the dogs are always getting out of the yard. And I know animal control has picked up a lot of these animals, but the owner just goes down to the shelter and gets them back out. One of the other issues that I have is the fact that none of them are licensed. They're not getting their shots. She's had multiple litters recently where the dogs have passed from parvo. I recently was called, I don't live over there, but I was recently called by a neighbor where I talked to Trevor with the city in code enforcement and told him about the attacks that the other dogs are attacking one another because they're food aggressive. I was called by the neighbor who asked me to come help with a dog that was being attacked. And I did pick the dog up and took him to the Redlands Animal Hospital, where he unfortunately had to be euthanized due to all the previous injuries that he sustained from other dogs. It was a pretty bad sight, and I do have pictures and a letter to all of you, hoping that we will finally do something about this because the dogs are continuously fighting and dying. And one of my concerns is I've been told the way she disposes of the animals is a fire pit in her backyard. So I have a problem with that. I don't want anyone to think I'm a crazy dog person, but I do help with a lot of, I volunteer my time to a lot of animal rescues. And this, when I was called, is something that has really disturbed me. The other thing is, I do have one of the owners of the house here with me, and I have pictures to give you guys of the living conditions that are absolutely inhumane. And I would like somebody to do something about it if they could. But if I could give you each a letter and the pictures, I would.
Yeah, you could
Okay,
give
I
it
would
to
appreciate it.
Miss Anna. Thank you.
Martha Glupka. No further comments, Mayor.
Okay. All right, so is there any conflict of interest or any disclosures from any of our councilmen that need to be?
Only thing, Mr. Mayor, is when it comes to item number 3 and the check registry, anything related to the sheriff's department, I'll be recusing myself on.
Okay. Anybody else? No? All right. Now it's the consent agenda, excuse me, the consent agenda is 1 through 7. If any council member would like to pull anything from the consent agenda? I'd like to pull item number 6, just for discussion, if we could. Do I have a motion to pass the rest?
I'll move your motion to approve items 1 through 7 with the exclusion of 6.
I'll second.
I got a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right. So number 6 is, we're tearing down a house over there, and it's, the amount is $34,230, and you're asking for another $4,500. I was, oh, hey, sorry. So just explain, you know, why the cost, why such high cost on that?
Sure, yeah, so this contract originally awarded in July of 2025 was for several city-owned properties, the demolition of those residential structures. Several were at Avenue E, 5th Street, and 4th Street. The other property was at the Pendleton Avenue near the low water crossing project. And so the funding that made up the mix to pay for the demolition of those facilities was from different CIP projects. And so that original award included a contingency amount. We can accommodate some of the additional demolition costs that were identified. We had to do environmental testing for potentially hazardous materials as we entered into that demolition phase, and additional lead-based paint and asbestos was identified, and so that has to occur prior to the demolition. So because some of that work would be required at the Pendleton property, the additional budget adjustment proposed with this item is because of that funding coming from that project. So
Are we doing those, or is the contractor doing that?
the contractor would be performing that work. They provided their cost proposal, and that is the basis for the contract amendment proposed to remove the lead-based paint and asbestos.
And that takes special places where we can take that, right? That's not
Yes,
just
yeah,
any-
there are certain regulations and requirements on how that's to be managed, mitigated to prevent that material from exposing nearby areas, and how they're transporting that to special landfills.
Okay, that's where we accrue more of the cost on that, so. Okay, well, thank you. I'll make a motion to pass.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, well, thank you. All right, now for the discuss items. Item number 8, Mr. Graham.
Yes, Mayor and Council. Item number 8 is an action item for the City Council to consider adopting various resolutions as well as an urgency ordinance. This was a item requested by the mayor, and what we would essentially be doing here is rescinding the approval of the freeway corridor specific plan that was adopted back in August of 2025, as well as an accompanying ordinance, ordinance number 448, which made a conforming change to the city's zoning map. The council adopted the resolution with the freeway corridor specific plan in August 2025. It had second reading and adoption of ordinance 448 in September of 2025. Between September and October, 2 referendum petitions were successfully circulated. They had the required number of valid signatures. The City Council previously considered this item on January 12th of 2026, whether to rescind those items and call an election. The City Council at that time declined to rescind the legislative actions that it had taken and initiated the call for a special election. Today is essentially, I think we counted, today is the last possible day for the City Council, if it chooses to rescind those legislative actions, including the freeway corridor specific plan update and ordinance 448. Under Elections Code 9241, if the City Council elects to rescind those legislative actions, then the referendum petitions are moot. There's no longer a need for them to go forward, and the City Council could rescind the call for the election that it made previously in January. I think that covers everything. We've had many, many discussions about the freeway corridor specific plan update, as well as this process. I wasn't planning on going to it in depth unless there are specific questions that the council has. Happy to answer those, and of course we have staff here as well if there are any other questions. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, thank you. So, do we have public comment?
We have several comments tonight. We'll start with Robert Frederick, followed by Chelsea Ramirez.
Good evening. Bob Fredericks, 36609 Parkview Terrace. And I'm speaking here to oppose the number 2026, primarily on the warehouse issue. Been a delighted resident of Yucaipa since 2021, after being a native of San Bernardino from 1950 until that time. And it's a delight to be a citizen here. One of the things that drew me here, instead of, for example, moving to Redlands, was the rural atmosphere of Yucaipa. And I have delighted in that. In my career, found myself driving all over Southern California, all over the Inland Empire, and we've seen the profligation of warehouses. And driving up the Yucaipa grade, coming to Yucaipa Boulevard, and on the bluff, you're looking down towards County Line Road. You see that large warehouse, standing there, And I just envision with warehouses going in, that whole bluff, that whole bluff is going to be filled with towering warehouses, probably, I don't know, 24, 30 feet high. And so one is the aesthetics of our community. Secondly is going to be a lot of traffic congestion there at County Line Road and that bridge. And I understand that the signatures on the petition to not approve this were twice that required. It would seem to be that the public is opposed to this. And so just speaking here to encourage you to revoke that and give it other considerations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chelsea Ramirez, followed by Kathy Sellers.
Good evening, Mayor Venable and council members. My name is Chelsea Brammer Ramirez. I live on Birchwood in Yucaipa. I've been a Yucaipa resident for 48 years. Before the orange groves changed to track homes and the trails we used to run for cross country became a golf course. That evolution has been slow and thoughtful. Tonight, I'm asking you to vote to rescind the warehouse project and the freeway corridor specific plan, changes that has made it possible. Not because Yucaipa is against growth, but because this project simply does not match who we are. Yucaipa has always been different from the rest of the Inland Empire. People move here or stay here for the hills, the open spaces, and the sense of community, the small town character that still exists. We are not an industrial corridor, and we have never tried to be. Yet this project would place nearly 2 million square feet of logistics complex at the entrance to our community and fundamentally change what Yucaipa is. Cities make decisions that reflect how they see themselves. Look at Beverly Hills, look at Rancho Mirage. Those cities know exactly who they are, and because they know their value, they would never allow their city to be known as a warehouse corridor, which would define their community. So the real question to me here tonight isn't about zoning or traffic studies. The real question is, how does Yucaipa see itself? Do we see ourselves as a unique community worth protecting? Or do we see ourselves as just another place along the freeway where warehouses go when other cities say no? Because once you make that decision, it shapes the city for our kids and their kids for decades. Right now, it feels like Yucaipa is being treated like the last girl invited to a dance. We should never be happy to receive that invitation. And that is not who we are, and we are better than that. We know our worth here in Yucaipa. Yucaipa doesn't have to accept the projects that fall into our laps or projects that other cities refuse. We don't have to lower our expectations for what belongs here, and we certainly don't have to trade our identity for something that doesn't reflect the values of the residents who actually live here. Keeping Yucaipa special is not anti-business, it's not anti-growth, it's about choosing the right kind of growth, the kind that aligns with our community, our landscape, and the people who call this place home. Tonight, you have an opportunity to send a message about who Yucaipa is, not just to developers, but to the residents who care deeply about this city. Please rescind the approvals, protect the character of this community, and keep Yucaipa, Yucaipa. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Kathy Sellers, followed by Jana Lovell.
Hello, Kathy Sellers, District 1. While sounding like a broken record, in researching the role of a successful city council, one of the main tenets is to involve the community in decisions by creating citizen advisory committees or task forces for major decisions and holding community workshops before big policy changes. A key principle is that people are more likely to trust their local government when they feel heard, informed, and respected. Allowing unlimited public comments at council meetings is a good start, but I dare say that 3-minute opportunities twice a month doesn't meet that criteria. Holding a study session for council to air their opinions before making a huge decision with no opportunity for the public to join in was very frustrating.
The body politic is a useful metaphor comparing a city to the human body, where citizens and institutions are like organs working together under a government, the head, and the people as the limbs, emphasizing unity and a shared function. When there has been a major conflict between a city council and constituents, moving forward requires acknowledgement, rebuilding trust, and creating new ways to work together. The goal is not to erase the disagreement, but to reset the relationship so future decisions are less adversarial. Even after heated disputes, most residents and council members want the same things: safe neighborhoods, responsible budgeting, good schools and services, and economic stability. Let's try to reduce the us versus them mentality and form citizen advisory committees or working groups that include people with different viewpoints as we move forward on the freeway corridor specific plan together. To quote a famous line from Scottish poet Robert Burns, "The best laid plans of mice and men often go awry," meaning that even the most careful plans can be ruined by unforeseen circumstances, often leading to disappointment. The amount of time, energy, and money spent surrounding the freeway corridor specific plan has been disappointing, to say the least. The best part of this hellscape has been the incredible people who are now my friends. If your reasoned votes tonight to rescind the ordinance and the freeway corridor specific plan create an opportunity to reset the future of our city and negate the need to spend over $200,000 on a ballot referendum, it's a wise decision for all. We will now wait for the other shoe to drop. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jana Lovell, followed by Martha Glupka.
Hello, and thank you for allowing me to speak again. I didn't prepare a speech, I just wanted to share an experience. I moved from Santa Monica, and when I first moved there, it was the most beautiful, safe suburb in LA. When I left, it was the most unsafe suburb of LA. So I moved here hoping to find a safe community, and I found it, and I love it. I absolutely love it, sincerely. I come home to cows, it's my heaven. I don't love the pumpkin patch, and I know most of Yucaipa does because I live there. I drive home from work, and I always hit traffic. So my experience once, I also run a dog rescue, and I work for the veterans. So one time I was driving home from a dog rescue, driving south on Live Oak Canyon. I tried to turn right to go to my home on 16th Street. I was blocked. I couldn't turn right on Outer Highway 10 to go to my home because the traffic didn't support it. Even with a light there, the traffic didn't support it. So I was forced to drive south down Live Oak Canyon, 20 minutes with a dog that had to pee until I could find a place to turn around. I found a driveway to turn around in, and then I drove back 20 minutes, but I couldn't turn left onto Outer Highway 10 to get to 16th Street. I had to drive past, go through Yucaipa and around, hit a stop sign, tried to turn left to go to my home, and I was blocked again. And I had a moment with the officer. I said, I live there. This is my home. You know, I should not be blocked to go to my home because of a pumpkin patch. I've been driving 45 minutes to go 1 minute's worth of drive. And he said, I'm sorry, if this is your home, go home. I'm like, thank you very much. So, it took me 45 minutes to get home, which would have taken me 1 minute. And that's just the pumpkin patch. So now we're adding warehouses, and we're adding stacks and stacks and stacks of low-income housing at the end of my driveway. And I don't feel the same level of safety that I felt when I've lived here for the last 10 years. And that's really all that I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Martha Glupka, followed by Ro Randolph.
Hi, Council. It's been a while. If I could preface one thing, did I miss general comment?
Yes.
Okay, I had something on garage sales. I'll give you guys copies, if that's acceptable, and then I'll come back at the next meeting and
Yeah, you can give them to Anna.
do it. Okay, I'll give it to Anna. So I'll go straight to the warehouse then, okay? Tonight, I'd also like to address warehouses. This was a community versus council decision. I was extremely disappointed and hurt when I gave my speech about my precious son, Jimmy, that battled leukemia for 6.5 years, from age 5 to 11.5. Benzene is now known to cause leukemia and other cancers and life-threatening ailments coming directly from diesel semi-trucks. And yet that didn't seem to move 3 of you to shelf this idea. I can't tell you, as I put my trust in all of you to do the right thing. Sadly, that did not happen 18 months ago. Not only that, you were willing to build 2,400 homes that would definitely have children and adults that would affect their health. As I have always concurred, children are our future. What were you thinking? Each of you also saw the horrific, unrecognizable photos of my son at the end of his life. I burned the photos afterwards so that I would never, ever have to see those again. My boy that fought so hard for 6.5 years. I wanted to remember him as my precious, beautiful boy. I thought I would be enough to sway your decision, but it was not, and this kept going on for another 18 months using money we didn't have to push it forward. Only 2 of you voted against it, and for that, I will always, always have undying respect and love in my heart for you. My heart hurt that 3 of you chose to have warehouses and then risk the lives of many, especially our children. Now the warehouses are off the table, and it's time to clear the slate and find new avenues to increase our tax revenue and start to build a bridge to healing between the council and your constituents. I am grateful that you are making a decision tonight and hopefully not to move forward on the warehouses. I am hopeful this now will fade away and become a distant memory. I hope that this will be a lesson learned and that jointly we will work together as a team. I feel like my sweet angel Jimmy is cheering in heaven for the kids that hopefully will stay healthy and live the full lives that they deserve. While I can never bring him back, I can devote myself, as I have over the past 23 years since his journey, to be with Jesus, to keep other families from experiencing any kind of heartbreak. Jimmy left many treasured friends behind that continue to call Yucaipa his home, their home, and they now have children of their own. My sweet hero Jimmy and the friends he left behind and their growing families, may God bless each of you. Can I finish? It's just a sentence.
Sure.
Okay. May God bless each of you, and I can't express enough, please stop looking at easy fixes and work with your community to make Yucaipa great again. Thank you again for listening.
Thank you.
Ro Randolph.
Ro Randolph here. I had this big thing I was going to talk about, and I realized, what do we want Yucaipa to be known for? Been here my whole life. It was always about the pumpkin patch, the regional park. It was about swimming and hiking and all the green hills and everything that we had. It was a recreational place. It's always been that. And then it changed. And Yucaipa's always been an outdoor place to be. And then it changed to being a unsafe, a place of concern and corruption, all these words you hear. And it becomes down to, you have city council as being, investigated for fraud, and one sued their constituents, and one represents the water company, and one gets upset, and the other one's trying to blend and mend everybody together. Okay, so with that being said, it's been proven that people have a voice, Mr. Miller. And even though you said many times over that none of this really mattered, there was only 6,000 people, well, we pulled off quite a big task, and it's something that is even bigger than that. It's way bigger than that, more than you guys even know. You guys put down Save Yucaipa and Kathy Sellers and have these terrible things to say, but you have to understand, Save Yucaipa is just the car. It's not the gas in the car. There's a bigger group of organization that you guys have no idea is the gas in the car. And they're the ones that are pushing to stop the mega warehouses. In 208, there was no mega warehouses. It was commercial, bring tax revenue money in. And that's what we need. We need that. We don't need mega warehouses. We have the pumpkin patch. Everybody knows the pumpkin patch, part of our recreational. We are a recreational town. Why can't we focus on that? There's so many alternatives. So with all that being said, I propose that we all work with Dr. Moore as a facilitator. And let's get down to business and it's not even you guys. It's the people that are involved. It's the property owners. It's the water company. It's those people. It's the pumpkin patch people. It's those people. We need to sit down with Dr. Moore and have a conversation what a freeway corridor specific plan can look like to accommodate all. We're all not going to be winners in the deal, but we can have a common ground in it. And we got so far away with that because of the decisions you guys have made in the last 4 or 5 years that have not been very nice. It's actually been pretty tarnishing our town. And I think that that's relevant. So to shake out the rug, let's start fresh, and I propose that. And the water company is important to it. I've realized a lot of things the last couple of days. So I say that we sit down with Dr. Moore and let's start fresh. And let's start all over again. And let's quit with the name calling and the bad things we're all doing. So that's all I have to say about all that.
Thank you.
Bye.
I have no more comments.
I'm sorry?
I have no more comments on this item.
All right, so now we'll get to our council. Ms. Woolsey?
One of the comments that I hear from the proponents is, your voices and concerns are never heard. Well, this year, I spent endless hours listening to public hearings, planning commission meetings, previous council meetings. I've even gone back and listened to our meetings this last year. I have heard you, and I am listening. And this is what I'm hearing. No to industrial growth, no to any commercial growth, no to housing, protect the open space, and save the cows. I've had to make decisions on lawsuits that have been filed, not only for the freeway, but also for Serrano and the wine country. And these lawsuits have cost the city thousands of dollars and made development even more expensive here. I've heard comments such as the city and the council is putting out misinformation. Here's a quote. A dishonest video has been created by City Hall with our, in big letters, taxpayer dollars as they move to intimidate Yucaipa citizens, end of quote. I've heard how the council is being paid off by the landowners and the developers. The most current one I just read today, quote, the same people in the pocket of developers and lobbyists have to vote this down, end of quote. I find those comments very insulting. But the thing I haven't heard are solutions. I have 26 mobile home parks in my district, and I know there are people living in those mobile homes, especially young families, that so desperately want local jobs that pay a good living wage so that they don't have to spend hours on the freeway driving back and forth to work. They would love to be able to buy a home, raise a family here in something other than a mobile home. Those of you on the proponent side, you're very fortunate. You were able to come here and buy a home and raise your family. And I realize that that's what you're fighting. You're fighting that, protecting that. But you don't want anybody else to be able to do that. There are kids that graduate from high school that would really like to have part-time jobs here while they're going to college, whether it's Crafton or some other nearby college. How nice would it be for those kids to maybe have a trade school or a vocational school that, by the way, could be in a warehouse right here so that they could work part-time, go to school, graduate, have a local job, be able to get married, raise their kids here like your families have done. And the one thing that I really find upsetting is that in the this last go-around, a group has been formed that is funding 96% of the expenses to oppose this plan. And the majority of the people in that group don't even live here. In fact, one lives in Vegas. If the referendums are rescinded tonight, we're very aware that you're going to continue to stop any developments. It's been well known for months that you're planning to do an initiative to ban warehouses citywide, and once again, financed by donations outside of Yucaipa. This plan may go away. There'll be another one come along. So my question to you is, are you going to be part of the solution, or are you going to continue to try to shut everything down?
All right, John?
Thank you, sir. The only thing I would add tonight is that I would go with the recommendations set forth by the staff report 1 through 3.
All right. Bob? Mr. Deputy?
I had spoke on this matter, I think when we voted to put it out to an election, and I voted no then, with the intent to rescind at the time. And I said that I had heard, and I made a comment then that I was listening to a podcast on leadership that made a comment about how do you get a group of people to support a plan? And the commentator on the podcast said, you have them plan it. Make them plan the plan, then you have support. So if they build it, then how do you fight something that you built? You did, this was your idea, not ours. Ro, you said it. You're right. Where'd you go? Ro, did Ro leave? All right, I think I heard her out there. Ro said it. The city, starting with Ray Casey, put forth the freeway corridor plan. This was not something that was born overnight. And the council was given options. I made votes throughout the almost 6 years, or 5.5 years on the city council based on what I thought was right. It wasn't my plan. It was what was presented as plans before me. So I made the recommendation then that instead of kicking the can down the road for the voters to rescind, why don't we just rescind it now and then start empowering the community members. I have the same position that I did then. Let's not waste any more time. Let's empower the community, give them the tools and authorities to produce a plan that is actionable, and then bring it back to us for approval or discussion. But listen, I don't know how that's gonna happen. I don't know how the freeway is going to look with no utilities. If somebody, Kathy, I quoted you when I said this last time. You had made a comment that you have spoke to the best and brightest in our community, and there was ideas of how to make this happen. I'm clearly not the best and brightest because I don't know what that plan is, but if you have them, let's bring them forward. And so, like Councilman Thorpe, my recommendation tonight is going to be that we vote on this in accordance with staff recommendations 1 through 3, and that for Mr. City Manager, the start of my recommendations for further direction is start with a community meeting. I think last time we did something like this, it was at the YPAC, and let's talk. After that, I suggest that and this is something that I think the council would have to discuss more, but let's redo an ad hoc, community initiative ad hoc. Let's get some people on the freeway corridor advisory panel. Well, let's say strategic advisory panel, because the strategic plans, that means strategy. It means it was really thought out. And then we'll see where it pans out. But at the end of the day, to one of the speakers who, I don't see her. So one of our speakers made a comment that she wants to feel safe. Well, so do I. That costs money. I want to add more deputies. I want to add 4. That's $1 million. That's $1 million this year. It'll be more next year when they get a raise. So I want to be safer. I want to add a paramedic squad. That's going to cost us year over year. All of that has to come from somewhere. And at this point, we've just simply, Chapman Heights was probably a big part of it. We've grown faster in residents than we have in commercial. We can no longer support ourselves as a community. In the last city council meetings, if you guys weren't here for it, I'll tell you, we had to point out some pretty horrible truths that our fire service is just, we are taking advantage of these men and women who wear that uniform in this community. We don't let them sleep. They go call to call in their 72-hour deployment period. Where most firehouses, and for the cops in the room, we used to make fun of the firefighters. They get to sleep on duty and eat till they're tired and sleep till they're hungry. A Yucaipa firefighter doesn't do that. In fact, we're sending them to medical calls without any sleep. So the freeway corridor plan was a pathway, perhaps not the best pathway, but the pathway towards revenue. I'm not sure what that is going to look like in the future. I hope, sir, that the bluff is not covered with anything that's not appealing to the sites of Yucaipa. But we do need to fund the services that the city deserves. So those were my recommendations. That wasn't a formal motion. My motion is going to be that we don't kick this can down the road any further, that you grab the bull by the horn, so to speak, and let's get cracking. And as Rose said, let's get to work. So if we're waiting on a motion, I'll make a motion to move
Didn't you make a motion?
item 8, numbers 1, 2, and 3, to rescind the resolution, rescind resolution 2025-61, 2026-07, and adopt urgency ordinance number 480 to rescind number 448.
I would second that, but I think our colleague down there may have something he wants to add.
I think
He made it officially, that's fine.
Oh, okay.
I'll second it.
All right. Well, we have a motion on the table. I know you want a roll call, right?
Yes,
All right.
please. Thank you.
I want to piggyback on what Deputy Mayor said. I want to get that started right away, and then we need to start reaching out to the property owners to get this ad hoc committee. So I want one member from each district, if possible, and then a couple city, and then 2 from our council.
And I think utilities probably.
Pardon?
Given that utilities is such a big discussion surrounding the freeway, I think representatives from, at least the government affairs reps from the utility boards or utility companies that are in that area need to be present as well. We can't plan for the freeway without somebody there who can speak educatedly on the utilities. So I would imagine we would have to have them at the table.
That'd be good too. So we have a motion from Deputy Beaver. We got a second from Mr. Thorpe. Can we get a roll call?
Councilmember Miller,
Yes.
Councilmember Thorpe,
Yes.
Councilmember Woolsey,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Beaver,
Yes.
Mayor Venable.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, now we got Trails and Open Spaces Committee.
Yes, good evening, Mayor and City Council. There is one at-large vacant position on the Trails and Open Space Committee. As of today, the council received 4 applications, one which was received earlier today. The recommendation is that council nominate 1 applicant for the at-large member to the Trails and Open Space Committee, vote on the appointment of the nominated applicant, or provide further direction to staff. This concludes my report.
All right. So you have any comment with John?
Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
we do have one public comment on
Oh,
this item.
okay, I'm sorry.
Kelly Tully.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. My name is Kelly Tully, and I'm applying for the open position on the Trails and Open Space Committee. As an avid hiker, I explored the hills of Yucaipa for the last 14 years and have been joining the monthly take-a-hikes for 9 years. I would truly be honored to contribute to this committee, which is doing such a great work in our wonderful city. Thank you for your consideration.
Well, thank you. Okay,
No more comments on this item.
all right. So, Bob, you want to have any comment or anything? No. Okay. Mr.
Are any of the other applicants present?
The applicants were invited. Do we have any applicants here for the Trails and Open Space Committee?
Diana Davis's mom just passed 2 days ago, so she's not here for that reason.
Okay.
I don't believe we have anybody else in the audience.
I reviewed these are difficult to discern because the applications come in with really good references. Generally, they're all people that we look at and I say, hey, those are people we see in the community. Those are people who are involved in this type of activity. They all have great. They have great experience. They fill out good information. It's never easy. This is not an easy decision to make. So I do take into consideration past members who have served honorably on these committees and commissions when I make a decision. Owing to that, I will nominate Kelly Tully for the vacant position, the ad hoc, or for the at-large position.
All right.
So I was gonna, excuse me, still fighting this. I was gonna make a recommendation for one of the applicants, but they didn't show, so I will second Deputy Mayor Justin's recommendation.
Okay, we got a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Welcome.
Congratulations, Kelly.
Good job. All right, we got Megan Wolf back up here for the Blue Zones.
Good evening again, Mayor and Council. The Blue Zone Project is a community well-being initiative inspired by global research identifying regions where people live longer, healthier lives. The initiative focuses on implementing environmental, social, and policy-based strategies that make healthy choices easier and more accessible for residents. At the July 2025 Healthy Yucaipa Committee meeting, representatives from Blue Zone provided an introductory presentation outlining the program's structure, measurable outcomes, partnership expectation, and implementation model. Following the presentation, the committee expressed interest in further evaluating the program's potential application within the city of Yucaipa. Ruben Gonzalez is here this evening with us to tell you more about the Blue Zones project.
Well, good evening, Mayor and fellow council members. It's an honor to be here with all of you and Yucaipa residents. It's all good to see you this evening. My name is Ruben Gonzalez. I'm the executive director for the Banning Blue Zones project. And just a quick background on myself is I'm a Banning boy, born and raised in Banning. And so when I saw this community initiative, and I was also a former council member in the city of Banning, so I know what you go through. I've been in your shoes, and I just want to encourage you tonight that even though it's tough, I know some of these meetings have those heavy agenda items and it gets tough. I just want to encourage you to keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a really good service for your community. With that being said, I know that you guys said you guys are giving me 3 hours to present today, right? Is that right? Thank you for that. It means a lot. So I wanted to explain to you a little bit about the brief background of how, can I just real quick get a show of hands of how many of you council members know about Blue Zones, just so I can get a pulse? Okay, cool. So you know a little bit about it, right? Have any of you guys seen the Netflix documentary by chance? No? Okay, so I'm gonna go a little bit into the background, and I won't take too long, on how Blue Zones got started, where and how Banning adopted the Blue Zones project, and what that phase and that criteria is, and where we are at now, and then if that's something that Yucaipa is interested in, and this is something that you can adopt as well. So what we call our founder, Dan Buettner, he was a world bicyclist, and so he came across these regions that these people were living 100 to 105 years old, still riding their bikes, still playing pickleball, and he was like, what in the world are these people doing that they're living these long lives? And I loved that the gentleman during public comment said, hey, as you know, we get older, you think about every single year matters, right? Every moment matters, and so as we talk about this, keep that in mind about how important it is that every memory matters, and when we're here on this earth, how important it is to live better and to live longer. So we found these 5, we call them longevity hotspots. These are all areas where people were living, we call centenarians, 100, 105 years old, right? Still living great lives. They're not in a hospital bed being taken care of. They're still living, they're thriving. And so what we found is there was these 9 commonalities in all of those 5 blue zones areas. And we call that the Power 9. So one of them was to move naturally, right? None of these 5 longevity hotspots had a 24-hour fitness. They didn't have any gyms, right? They would walk everywhere. They would essentially do 30 to 50, what do they call it, squats, right? Because they would eat on the floor. A lot of the Okinawans did, right? And so they would just move naturally, and that was a big part of how the longevity. Purpose, I don't know if you guys know this, but just by having a purpose can add up to 7 to 10 years to your life, right? And so just by having that is such an amazing thing to help residents and community members to know their purpose, to live out their purpose so that they're contributing to the community. Downshifting, I know this is a tough one for council members because they're, or anybody that's ambitious. When you have a business, your council, you're in an elected position, it's hard to understand balance and to achieve balance. And so downshifting was another longevity principle that they implemented. 80% rule. I don't know about you guys, but I lived in a household where I wasn't allowed to leave the dinner table until my food was completely eaten and my plate was clean, right? And which is so funny because in our household, you don't want to waste food. That's the culture, right? Because it costs money. But in the cultures over there, it says, hey, when you're full, you're full. 80%, when you're 80% full, you stop there, and that's a good principle to live by, and that also contributes to the longevity and betterment of their lives. I know if you saw Loma Linda is also a hot spot, right? They're a very plant-based diet in Loma Linda, as well as Seventh-day Adventists, and so volunteers, they, churchgoers, they contributed a lot to their community, but a lot of it too is that they were a plant-based diet. Wine at 5, that one seems to be a popular one, and it's not necessarily to condone alcohol, right? It's more about having a place at the end of your day to talk with your friends, with your coworkers, with your constituents, and being able to not hold all the stuff that you go through in and to make you feel like you're by yourself, but to have a social circle. 3 more, right tribe, loved ones first, and belonging. Those are all very similar because you see in that blue little area, that's all feelings of connecting to your people, to the community and your residents, right? There's a very horrible statistic that says that if you live life alone and secluded from people, and you're not out volunteering, you're not contributing to your community, that it's equivalent to smoking 14 cigarettes a day. Isn't that insane, right? 14 cigarettes a day just by living alone and not feeling connected to your community. So those Power 9 principles and all those 5 longevity hotspots led to the creation of Blue Zones organization, which is to help and have everyone empowered, everyone everywhere to live better, longer. And so that became the mission. Our founder, his best friend, was really sick, and so he was able to remove him from where he was, and they lived in an area that was surrounded by healthy options just naturally, and he was supposed to live 6 more months, but ended up living about 6 more years, right? And so that's a testament to your economy and what's around you. So the model is people, places, policy. Those are the 3 unavoidable things in every single community. You have the people, you have all the places, your restaurants, your businesses, and then you have policy, right? And so what we found is these people that lived in those blue zones areas, they were basically living healthy accidentally. They weren't even intentionally trying to have like a New Year's resolution that says, hey, I just want to live better, live longer, right? There was their surrounding things that they were accompanied by. So the first Blue Zones project was in 2010 in Albert Lea, Minnesota. And that was the pilot project. Hey, does this model work? Can we create a healthier community by surrounding and focusing on people, places, and policy? Well, as you can see, 49% decrease in medical claims costs. Almost 3 years were added to the lifespans in that project. 48 increase in tourism. So that's another economic impact. It's almost an amenity, right? This one is my favorite. In Redondo Beach, they were able to drop childhood obesity by 55% just by working with the school district in the cafeteria, right? So these are some amazing, and another one, Fort Worth, Texas, they were able to decrease smoking by 31%, and that was a big smoking community by focusing on policies in that community. 40 million in grants that they were able to help ensure in these communities. And so now what it's based off of, every single community has their own dedicated team that focuses a strategy on sustainability. So I'm the director, and then Ashley Radke, she's the community engagement lead. She focuses on people, which is helping people connect, doing MOIs, which is basically clubs that people get together and be more socially connected, and cooking demonstrations. Robert Seibel is our well-being organization lead. He works with restaurants and businesses, all the places you go, school districts, right? And then Kevin Saunders is our public policy lead, who works with council, who works with school districts as well to implement healthier policies. So here's just some of the highlights in the people sector. Connected with over 1,000 Banning residents just in our first few months in the project. We just finished, by the way, our year one. Just barely finished our year one, and it's going fantastic. As you can see, we're connecting with the school districts, doing school-wide stretching and yoga things to help people be more moving, have more moving naturally, building partnerships with other community organizations, tabling events. And so this is the people aspect to encourage the social aspect and then also the moving aspect. Oh, sorry. Well, dang. That's the end of the presentation, apparently.
Yeah, backwards.
Oh,
wait, let me help you out here.
it just spazzed out. So I guess we will take 3 hours. If you there we go. Oh, that's a good one to leave off on. There we go.
This one?
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's okay.
So these are another highlighted things. The entire school district is a huge champion. So our superintendent, Terrence Davis, has been a huge champion and the reason why we have access to implement a lot of the things in the school districts. And so it helps by having all of your key stakeholders be a part of this community project, because it really does take your economy and your system to work, for the residents. And so all of the school districts are part of it. All of the restaurants, we have 12 restaurants that are registered. And what I really want to highlight is that a lot of people think that Blue Zones is like the food police. We're not saying like, hey, you can't have that soda, you can't have Doritos, right? It's not like that at all. It's more, when you partner with restaurants, it's say, hey, how could we highlight some things on your menus that are healthier options? And then also, can we do purpose workshops with your staff to make sure that your retention is really high? You don't lose a bunch of staff because your leadership is wrong. So we focus on leadership, and that helps the staff feel happy, the leaders feel better because they're not constantly having to hire, and then also working on the menu side. So there's a lot of moving parts by partnering with these organizations. Some policies, some great things, and I don't know if you guys have like some issues with tobacco shops or smoke shops and liquor stores, but Banning is really, it's horrible. We're known for 3 things. We're known for liquor stores, smoke shops, and barbershops. Those are the 3 things. Isn't that a horrible reputation, right? And so we're like, how did that happen, first of all? And then second of all, how could we create a system to, if they're there, what could we do on a policy level to either stop more smoke shops and liquor stores from coming? Also, we see a lot of kids being sold flavored tobacco products, which is the vapes, which are, strawberry and banana and peach. And so obviously it's targeted towards these younger people. How could we work with council to initiate the flavored banned tobacco products to where it's not even allowed in the smoke shops in the city? So they can't even have access to it, right? So that's some policy things, and we focus on food systems, a farmer's market. We want to increase the amount of produce that people are consuming in the community. So how could we get community gardens, right? And so these are some of the things that we're working on a policy level in Banning as well. The steering committee is really what drives a lot of the access points, right? We have Terrence, superintendent of the school. He's on our steering committee. We have Congressman Raul Ruiz on our steering committee, a representative from Senator Ochoa Bogue's office, county supervisor. We have council members. So we have a Parks and Rec director. So we have a lot of people on the steering committee that are passionate about implementing what we call our blueprint, which is an entire 100+ page document on what we on the team are accountable to do for the next 3.5 years. And so and then there's also, different other committees that are built by the citizens as well. I'll go over this real quick. This is the process on how we came to fruition in Banning. What I'm doing here is similar. What we did in Banning is where we had an assessment and development phase where, hey, does the community want this? Is this something that they are going to champion for? And does the council want it? Does the school districts? Do the restaurants? Do the businesses? Is this something that is interested in even being here? Because if it's not, and there's like 3 people that are like, oh, like, yeah, let's do it. It won't work because it really does take a community to be immersed in it to make it happen. And so what we do in the very beginning is a preliminary community assessment. It's a 2-day visit. We do focus groups, presentations. This is where we start to identify the funds, which I know that's always a difficult topic in cities because we're like, well, Banning, we didn't have a bunch of funds for this, right? And so we identified sponsors to help with that cost so we didn't have to absorb all of that. Volunteers, talent, and then the next phase would be the foundation where the community input and discover. This is where you actually develop the blueprint, which is the entire roadway and road path on how it is that we are going to focus on people, places, policy in the community. And then the transformation phase, which is implementing that blueprint, and then finally the certification where we say, hey, Yucaipa, Banning, they are Blue Zone certified communities, which we have almost about 100 communities that we're in now currently. Riverside is also doing a project. Coachella, Palm Springs, Banning, and Meade Valley are all simultaneously in a Blue Zones project. There's been interest from Calimesa, Hemet, Beaumont, and so there's a few other communities that they've seen the data on. We work with the Wellbeing Survey Index to see, okay, is this working? Are they actually, are they being accountable to what their project is? And so it's data-driven. Last but not least, and I do want to give some time for questions as well, but this is how we're funded, is all these sponsors, right? Kaiser, IHP Foundation, Molina, all of these organizations, entities, and agencies, they saw the value, and they also, these big ones like Kaiser and IHP, they're saving money because they recognize the claims cost is lower. When you're in a healthy community, you're not going to the hospital as often. So it's the proactive rather than the reactive side. And so Blue Zones it's aiming to achieve that proactive measure and preventative measures so that we have healthier people that live better and live longer in your community. So with that being said, I don't know if you want to open it up for questions.
I'm actually going to ask Robin to have a moment. Robin is the representative from the Healthy Yucaipa Committee, which I thought should wrap up this report this evening, so she can talk to why the Healthy Yucaipa Committee is recommending this to City Council.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and members of City Council. Like she said, my name is Robin Jensen. I'm from the Healthy Yucaipa Committee, and I want to share with you why the committee is interested in supporting this. We feel it is a very healthy step in building a healthier community for the city of Yucaipa. The Healthy Yucaipa believes, I have that cold too, that this partnership is valuable for several reasons. Thank you. Blue Zones, which we find is valuable, provides that structure that is definitely needed and the team to implement real change by coordinated efforts with the city, schools, food programs, restaurants, and community activities. Blue Zones also, as you saw, they improve our access to grants because everything costs money. And there's so many things that we as the Healthy Yucaipa Committee would like to do, but it's the funds. And we found that as we communicated with Blue Zones that they are the ones that can help us access those funds to do some of the projects that we have in mind that we would like to implement. And also it aligns with our city values, helping Yucaipa to continue to be the jewel of the Inland Empire. And that is for us to be that healthy community and that great support from our city. So after researching the Blue Zones initiative, we were convinced that partnering with them offers more than just good ideas. It provides education, it provides encouragement and community activities that help people live a healthier and longer life. What I also love is that they pull from the community. That committee that you saw, most of those people are from within the committee. So they hire from within. And I think that is valuable because people who live here, they know our community and they want to invest in our community. And we have access to this local office that we could work together with through the city, through Healthy Yucaipa, and through Blue Zones. Blue Zones also, which I love, has already demonstrated a commitment to our committee, to our city. They have sponsored our turkey trot, which was very successful. They are sponsoring our upcoming Run Through the Hills. And they also helped when Healthy Yucaipa wanted to organize the community walks on Saturday morning. They helped us set up the app, they helped us set up some of the structure, and they're continuing to support us as we're trying to get that going. So I feel like they're definitely already showing their commitment to our city. Lastly, I feel something as important as I've been doing the walking groups on Saturday. I tell members of the community, I'm like, hey, this is from our city. Our city really cares about you. That's why we're out here walking, because we understand that a connection provides the baseline for health. And they really appreciate to see that the city is invested and interested in their health. And so I believe that when the citizens see the city council supporting initiatives that promote healthier living, it sends a powerful message to the city that the city council cares about the citizens. So Healthy Yucaipa Committee is encouraging city council members to move forward with phase 1. And by supporting phase 1, the city council can take a meaningful step towards making Yucaipa a healthier community, strengthening the quality of our life, and setting an example for other cities to follow. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you.
This concludes our report, and any of us can answer any questions you may have.
All right. John?
Thank you, sir. Megan, could you explain to me the $150,000 that it's noted in the financial impact? How does that affect us? Is that coming from our budget at any point in time?
It can come from our budget. It depends on city council's desire. Most cities try to get as much covered for by companies such as those that were on the screen here and that Ruben mentioned in his presentation. It depends on council's direction and their desire. We can try to get 100% of the $150,000 raised. This council could choose to contribute a portion, so it's at the direction of council.
Thank you.
Judy? No comment. Bob? Deputy Mayor?
I'm happy this is here. I asked Dr. Wong to start looking into this a few years ago when I appointed him to the Healthy Yucaipa Committee. And yeah, I remember he called me, he's like, well, he said it very eloquently. I'm going to do him a disservice. But it was something to the effect of, when you ask a favor, you sure do ask for a favor, because this is a big one. There's a lot of work that is going to have to go into it. And he's like, I'm going to be honest, I don't know that our community is ready for it. There's a lot that has to go in. Since then, he's talked to me and said that he thinks there's sufficient interest in forming a blue zone. And as it was something that I had asked him, I worked Loma Linda as a deputy. In fact, that's where I first heard about the blue zone. And when I was working down there, it's a bizarre thing, because the cops in the room know that, 3 o'clock in the morning, there's only 2 people that are out and about. It's cops and crooks. That's it. So if you see somebody walking around at 2 o'clock in the morning going through a neighborhood, they're going to get stopped, because why are you walking around at 2 o'clock in the morning? And then I realized that everybody's walking around in summertime in Loma Linda, because they're very ambulatory and they're walking. And so I pull up with my spotlights on, and next I'm looking at some 86-year-old man who's like, "What?" I'm like, I don't know what you're doing out here, man. And he's just, I'm walking. I'm like, I can see that. And I'm scratching my head, because I came from Joshua Tree, where if you see somebody lurking in the shadows at night, you stop them. And so certainly the Saturday morning walks are huge. Take a Hike has been doing this anyways. Our cities, we've been getting out walking. They're award winning for that matter, right? Our Take a Hike Yucaipa has gotten awards for their efforts. I would love to see us become a blue zone. I'd love to see us get that blueprint are you still an active councilman? Where'd he go? No. Man, he stepped away.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm done with that.
Yeah, and what's funny is that I was on council when all of this was coming about to, and I was like, wow, what an amazing thing. And then I ended up having to move out of my district, and so I vacated, and then sure enough, they're like, hey, are you interested in joining Blue Zones? And I'm like, heck yeah. Sure. And especially because I still get to serve my community, sure. In this capacity, it was amazing. So, it's a great opportunity.
So I have support for item 10. I'd like to see it go forward. I am cautious about $150,000 expenditure at this point, with our budget being what it is. With that being said, I would like staff to look into, maybe get some support letters we can send out as a community. I think that'd be maybe the first step. I don't want to put too much out there because item 14 is going to require a lot of what I'm about to say as well. But I think some like community efforts, community donation bins, or places in the community where people would like to support this. I think there are a lot of groups and organizations in the community that would be supportive of a blue zone and what it means and what it stands for. So I'm not ready to move to cut a check tonight for $150,000, but I'd like to see. I mean, my motion would be that staff continue working towards establishing a blue zone, finding more healthy ways for our community to be that. Maybe drive down some of those 9,000 calls for service that I spoke of for our fire crews, and then bring it back to us for consideration when maybe we've generated some funds to help offset that big number.
All right, Mrs. Woolsey.
I know our insurance programs offer a lot of this stuff, and I just can't see with our budget right now $150,000. This would be a no for me.
Okay, now we have a motion. Do we have a second?
So can I just clarify the motion?
Yes.
So I'd like to see unanimous. I'm not motioning that we spend $150,000 tonight. So for everybody in the audience, for the reporters, if you're still here, I don't want to spend a penny tonight. What I'm asking, my motion is that we direct staff to move forward on the theoretical approach to how this would find a funding source outside of our general fund. I don't want to give up on the blue zone. I'm just not ready to fund it just yet. Maybe, who knows where our budget is in the future, and who knows what kind of community support can help fund this. So I agree with Councilwoman Woolsey. I don't want to spend money. It'd be a no for me as well if that was the hard line you guys drew in the sand tonight. But I do want to see it go forward, at least in that way. I'd like to see what you come back with. If in 2 months you come back and go, yeah, there's nobody, we're all broke, nobody's got any money, we can't do this, then maybe we table it for a little bit. But I think there is sufficient support out there for us to at least continue entertaining the idea.
Is it okay if I see? I heard your motion. The Margaret from Blue Zones did say, again, that most cities have at least 90% covered by outside sources. And then I do want to say that staff moving forward to find funding, while there's no dollar commitment this evening, there is staff time. So I just wanted to make sure council was aware of that.
Yeah, no, staff time, I think I view things a little bit differently than maybe my colleagues do. That's what the city pays you to do, is to work for the city. So yes, I understand that it's going to cost us your wages to get this done. We budgeted for that. We're asking you to do more. And unless you guys come back on July 1st and say you need to give us more money with these giant raises because you're just asking us too much, I don't see an impact. We've already budgeted for your salaries. I understand that we're asking you to work, but that's why we work for the cities, because we want to get paid to work for the cities. So staff time aside, I'd like to see you come back in maybe a month or two and then kind of give us a report on, did you put your fingers on the pulse? Is there interest? And can we drum up some money?
Can I chime in? I would agree. I am not interested in spending money. This is Admiral. I think it's a good thing, but at this current juncture and some decisions we have ahead of us in the near future and stuff, I don't think spending $150,000 at this point is wise. Excuse me. So if they want to, like you say, put your finger on the pulse, see if there is interest, see if there's ways of finding other funding. If it's out there, that's one thing, but I'm not interested in committing to finances from the city side of things at this juncture as well.
Okay, do you want to?
And I do think, sorry, just really quick, the recommendation is not for a financial commitment. It's just for a commitment to seek financial commitment.
Yeah.
You know, if we were a blue zone, he wouldn't be coughing over there. Just saying.
Okay, so we do have a motion on the table, and we have a second. Did you second it, John?
I was just elaborating, so I guess I'm in agreement with Justin as long as we're not committing to anything right now, because I'm not interested in spending any financial.
Correct.
Have a financial commitment at this time at all.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed?
Yes. I would like to vote with I would like to vote with my fellow members here, but I just don't see any purpose in pursuing this. Insurances cover a lot of this, so my vote is a no.
Okay. All right, thank you. Thank you, Megan, and you're up next again. Item number 11, the Winterfest tree lighting wrap-up.
The best part's yet to come. Can we wait for the council member to return?
Sure.
Oh, no.
No?
Oh, no, we shall. Whatever you'd like.
Okay.
Would you like me to start, or shall we wait for the council member to return? It's up to you. Okay, go ahead and get started. Okay, I'll save the video. It was going to be first, but it's so good, I'll wait till the end to show it. The 2025 Winterfest and Tree Lighting Ceremony was held on November 29th to start the holiday season. The event featured Santa's workshop, a kids zone, food and merchandise vendors, fire pit rentals, a beer garden, live entertainment, and it was all took place on the YPAC outdoor stage. The evening ended with the most traditional, beautiful tree lighting ceremony, which was highlighted by Santa's arrival on the fire truck, assisted by Yucaipa Police Department. The goal of the 2025 Winterfest was to not have an impact on the general fund, or not have a negative impact on the general fund, and to celebrate the holiday season through a combination of vendor participation, sponsorship, beverage sales, entertainment, and revenues generated from sponsorships. The event expenditures were $31,326, and the revenues received for the event was in the amount of $43,797. Wow. While this does not include staff time, nor internal City Hall staff time, this did not have a negative impact on the general fund. I would like to talk briefly about the sponsors that helped make this event possible. Sorensen Engineering, County Line Farmers Market, Live Oak Canyon Pumpkin Patch, Redlands Plumbing, Heating and Air, Rebels Burgers and Brews, Raising Cane's, Blue Zones Health, Renewal by Anderson, and APNA Health. These contributions played a significant role in offsetting some of the cost. This evening, staff is asking that City Council receive and file the wrap-up report for the 2025 Winterfest tree lighting ceremony. If I may draw your attention to the screen now.
Good job, Megan. Very good. So that's it?
That's it. Yes,
All
this
right.
concludes the report.
All right, does council have any comments? John?
It was an awesome event. Well done to you and your crew.
Judy?
No comment.
Bob?
It says provide further direction. Are you looking for any modifications to our current plan? Or are you looking, what are your thoughts on continuing Winterfest? Is it bigger, better, maintain current footprint? How do you want to, it's, number 2 says provide further direction to staff. What direction do you want us to give you? Because you're doing a bang up job.
Well, I think that the staff that work the event are amazing, and I'm just thankful to be a part of such a great group of individuals. I owe it all to them. I am looking to execute council's goals and directives.
I'd like to thank both the Santa Clauses that we had. They were both
There's
amazing.
only one Santa.
They're, We had a fill-in, wink, wink.
The real Santa was holding a Coca-Cola can
That's right.
with his picture on it. She has it. I've seen it.
Good job, Megan. Thank you.
Thanks, Megan.
All right, Mr. Fermin, letter to support the city. Oh,
Landon will be presenting this item, Mr. Mayor.
the bait and switch.
Thank you, Fermin, and good evening, Mayor and members of council. The city of Beaumont reached out to the city of Yucaipa staff, updating us on their federal funding requests for fiscal year 27, the congressionally directed funding for 3 of its projects in the city of Beaumont that they have prioritized, and requested a letter of support from the city of Yucaipa. We appreciate them reaching out to us for this opportunity, and as we have in the past, we're also in the process of completing similar funding requests through the federal government for our upcoming phases of the I-10 Wildwood Interchange project. Letters of support from neighboring agencies can help to highlight some of the regional benefits that projects like this offer to the region that's rapidly growing, and oftentimes can increase the likelihood in funding directed to our region, ultimately leading to project completion and the benefits that come with that. Staff has prepared a letter for council's consideration, provided as an attachment to this report, and is recommending that City Council authorize the mayor to sign and submit this letter per the City of Beaumont's request. And that concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Bob, any comment? Mr. Beaver? John, anybody? All right. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
So we have a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we got it. Now up. There you are again.
Good evening, Council and Mayor. On September 8th, 2025, the City Council directed staff to plan the 2026 4th of July. It is the United States of America's 250th anniversary, and that does deserve a round of applause. And at that meeting, council approved a budget in the amount of $60,000 with the caveat to make this one extra memorable. Similar to last year, this celebration will take place this year at Yucaipa High School on Saturday, July 4th. Gates will open at 6 p.m. New this year will be 2 skydivers, one with an American flag and the other with blue and red smoke trailing behind them. And the evening will end at 9 p.m. with a fireworks show, which I believe is the best fireworks show in the Inland Empire. To enhance the 2026 celebration, there is a recommendation for a monster truck exhibition featuring professional monster trucks and a freestyle motocross riders. The location would be in the parking lot that's located here on the screen of Sand Canyon and Chapman Heights Road. This parking lot is owned by Crafton Hills College, and we have received approval for use of the parking lot. Staff has been working with All Star Motorsports Production to coordinate the event of this production, the details of this event. And in addition, staff put together a 4th of July map here for you to see that the 4th of July portion of the event will be very similar to years previous, utilizing the high school parking lot where those that come have to pay for parking, and those that come to the motocross will also, and monster truck show will also have to pay for that show. Staff put together a 4th of July planning committee. I do see some members of the committee here this evening, and I'd just like to tell council who is in that committee. The Yucaipa Valley Chamber of Commerce, the Yucaipa Bulletin, Yucaipa Valley, and that's Chuck Wood of the Yucaipa Bulletin, the Yucaipa Valley Kiwanis Club, Rotary Club of Yucaipa, and the Yucaipa Valley Lions Club. In collaboration with all of these clubs, we believe that the community will come together to put on this great event. The committee is committed to helping with volunteering at the event and sponsorships to raise enough to cover the cost of the event. The city manager himself has secured a $40,000 scholarship with Live Oak Canyon. In addition, on September 8th, I'm not sure if some of you remember, but City Council accepted a challenge to raise $10,000 each to offset the cost of the event. The city clerk secured $5,000 from Burtech, so $1,000 towards each council member, and $5,000 from Cole Huber. Staff has secured an additional $5,000 from Sorensen Engineering and also applied for the Celebrate America grant, which we will be notified of funding shortly. I know that I went over this slide briefly, but for those that don't know, this is similar to what it will look like if approved on this lot here. The recommendation this evening is on the board because it can be a little bit confusing. Authorize the city manager to execute a contract with Pyro. Authorize the city manager to execute with a contract with All Star Motorsport Productions. Approve the closure of Chapman Heights Road. And authorize a community services increase to the fiscal year 26 general fund in the amount of $140,000. And or provide further direction to staff. This concludes my report, but I can answer any questions you may have.
Can we get Justin and his, what was it, your grandpa that jumped
No, you
out?
said you were going to skydive. You said you
Yeah,
sound like
no
a good
way.
thing for you to jump out of an airplane over your city as the mayor. I think it's brilliant. Nice try there, Mayor. Push me out.
I did get so excited about the skydivers that I forgot about the flyover. That will also be there that night.
Oh, good. It's good.
All right.
We've had that in years past with like the big old C-17 flyover. It's impressive to say the least.
Bob? You have anything, Bob?
No, I don't.
Justin?
So, goodness, 250 years. I won't be sitting up here for the 300-year celebration of our nation. So I want to do it right. I think I love everything about America. I think it's we go big on 4th of July every year, anyways. In Yucaipa, I think we've always enjoyed it. I can remember as a small. I think we used to do fireworks at the regional park. I think the county did it back in the day at the regional park. But I can't remember a time in Yucaipa where I haven't watched the fireworks in my hometown. And I remember last year when we did our budget, we got a lot of flack for. I mean, literally, we went from one item where it stopped spending money. Like literally, it was like item 7, stop spending money. We heard people were lined up about being more fiscally responsible. And then the next speaker was, and you better not cut the 4th of July. So it was a dichotomy that I couldn't wrap my head around, which is like the community was very clear. Don't spend money on things that we don't need. But we need a 4th of July celebration. I concur. These are big, this is a lot of money spent, but I think community services has demonstrated, certainly from your Winterfest wrap up the capability of carrying out an event with a no negative impact to the general fund. And I think the Field of Dreams adage, if you build it, they will come. I suspect there will be community support in the realm of attendance to be at this event for the 250 years. The semi-sesquicentennial. Oh, messed that one up. Well, something like that. Yeah, I'm gonna let my colleagues talk before I make a motion.
John?
So since we're all like bringing up things, that grant, was that the one that I referred to you? How much was it?
Yes, sir. We applied for $25,000.
And when do we find out? Do you know when we'll be notified?
I don't have the exact date, but I can follow up with the city manager so that he can follow up with the council on that.
So the reason I'm bringing that up is that covers my 10. I want to make sure that.
You only have 8 to go.
And there's a little extra there, so I don't know, but we may be counting the chickens before they hatch. Anyway, I just wanted to see where we were with that. Thank you.
Just a couple of questions. Number 4, the 140,000, that's not in our staff report. Where did that come from?
That is, that amount was recommended to be on this slide by our finance director. And the reason, because I was budgeting in next fiscal year, the total dollar amount for the event, because the costs I thought were incurred in next fiscal year. But the finance director eloquently reminded me that if council approves this item, they also have to approve the funding for this item, which then will be rolled over into next fiscal year. Does that make sense?
Well, no, but in a way it does, but the 140,000, we've already got 115,000 between budgeted, the donated ones and everything. We have 115,000.
Okay. Yes, if I can do my best, and if I butcher this, I'm actually going to ask Ryan to step in.
Oh.
So even though we received funding already for revenue, we still have to budget for it on the expenditure side.
Okay.
So similar to the report that I previously gave about Winterfest, you saw there that even though we brought in $43,000, we still had budgeted the 31,000 to spend. And so that is why the finance director is recommending that we approve the 140,000 so that that money is approved. And then as Deputy Mayor Beaver mentioned, it is our directive to try to make $140,000.
Say it confidently. You got this.
Okay. Another question. In regards to the equipment that has to be, I assume, rented?
Yes.
To move the dirt, and the cost of getting that, we have no figures on that. Do we have any idea?
We do have some ideas on that. It's staff is working with a few sponsors to see if they would like to cover that cost.
Okay.
But let's say that they don't. That cost would be right around $30,000, and that's also why our finance director recommended this $140,000 number that you see on the screen.
Okay.
It is because in case those sponsors do not come through, the estimated cost is right around $30,000.
Okay, so we have 115 budgeted and donated at this point. So far, we know our costs are at 96,000, and now we've added another 30,000 possible. So that we are getting close up to the $140,000 costs then. Right, okay, I understand now how that's supposed to work. Okay, take a little while. I do have one other comment. I feel so sorry for yaps and these dogs, with the fireworks and now the monster trucks. These poor animals really suffer up there, and I know it's part of it, but I just feel sorry for them.
I think I got it. So if you go to Freeway Corridor Specific Plan, we just saved $200,000 on not getting it on the agenda, right? And we just did that. So that covers all of our costs because it was a 5-0 vote, right? 5-0. That covers.
This guy's so smart.
So we just covered ours, and we covered that budget. So I think that we're done talking, right? Should I drop the mic?
So does that cover my donation?
It does cover your
Okay.
donations. So here we go. So what do you think?
Mayor and council, I was gonna just bring something else up. If we run into any problems with the relocation of the dirt, as you all know, I have a Class A. I will personally move the dirt with our own truck. I've already talked to Scott, if necessary, to set the dirt up on the lot. I'll do it all every day on Saturday and Sunday if necessary to save on costs.
And I have my Class A too. So
That's right, so you can help me out with that.
I can
So
I can help
we
out
can do it
too.
ourselves. We don't need to hire out, or we can do it ourselves.
I'd like to, so I want to get to a motion at some point, but I'm going to ask just frankly, Dr. Moore, we've asked you to be, you've been our city manager now for a couple months. You've had a good 30,000 foot view of our budget and our operations. You're sitting at the driver's seat of all executive decisions. So I'm going to ask you plain out, can we afford it? Are you nervous about this if we were to make this budget adjustment? I mean, at the end of the day, you're the one who's going to be coming back to us, telling us where we landed on our budget and how things are looking. So Between you and I know Phil's not here, but Ryan, what's staff's recommendation relative to this? And you, specifically you, I know Ryan looks at it from a finance standpoint, but you're the one who oversees Megan's department, and community services is a thing that our community values. So as our city manager, where do you sit on this?
I think we're being fiscally responsible. I think we have enough. I let Megan loose, gave her some guardrails. I let staff do their job, and the department heads and staff members give them some guidance. And I think we're in good stead. We're going to do all we can to save as much as we can. And as Megan mentioned, we're out fundraising. I helped out as well, raised $40,000 from the pumpkin patch. So I think we're in good stead, and we'll continue to work forward to try to reduce cost as well. Like I said, I'll get out in the big rig myself and haul the dirt all day Saturday and Sundays if I have to, and Fridays.
And then plus we have parking, that we're gonna gain money on parking and concessions and everything else like that. So, right? You're gonna come in and say that we made $100,000 on this. Probably. Anyways, do we have a motion?
I'll move approval on the item.
We have a,
Happy birthday, America.
we have a,
I'll second.
we got a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, we got us a 4th of July party. All right. Now, are you doing the bait and switch again for me?
No, no.
You're doing this one, all right.
I will present this item, Mr. Mayor. Good
right.
evening, Mayor and City Council. This item is a discussion and consideration of a proposed Yucaipa Civic Center facility flagpole project to commemorate the 250th anniversary of the United States independence. As mentioned in the report, 2 members of the City Council requested staff bring an item before the entire City Council to discuss and consider the installation of a 120-foot tall flagpole at the Yucaipa City Hall Center at City Hall to bring it forward as a proposed capital improvement program project. A new flagpole, as you're aware, a new flagpole will need to comply with the United States Flag Code, the state's flag code, and also the City of Yucaipa's flag policy that was adopted last year in 2025 by the City Council. City staff has researched this potential project and has come up with both a cost estimate for the first time installation of the construction and also an estimate for the ongoing annual maintenance cost associated with a 120-foot flagpole and the pretty big 60-foot by 30-foot flag that would be displayed on this flagpole. The cost estimate for the installation is estimated at approximately $120,000, and the annual estimated cost for the maintenance of the flag and the flagpole is approximately $10,000 to $11,000 per year, and that would include the utilities, the maintenance, and then also the cost of replacing a 30 by 60 flag. And talking to some of the flag manufacturers, the larger the flag, the more often it would have to be replaced. It is possible for private funding through either fundraising or donations to pay for the cost of the project, of the installation and construction of the project, and also the maintenance cost. However, since the project will result in a capital project or capital public infrastructure, the construction and installation of the project will have to follow the City of Yucaipa's procurement process, and also the public contract code if the construction installation is, goes through the public bid process. And again, that is because it is resulting in a capital public infrastructure that will have to be capitalized as part of the city's financial process or finance process. That being the case, a new flagpole project will require a budget adjustment to be approved by the City Council, which would include increasing the fiscal year 26 capital projects miscellaneous fund budget by the estimated cost of $120,000, and then discussion also regarding the additional $10,000 to $11,000 per year cost for the ongoing cost per year would also have to be considered by the City Council. On the screen are staff's recommendations for this item for the City Council's consideration, and as part of recommendation number 2, the language in parentheses is not in the staff report, but that was added just to clarify that this would, the budget adjustment that would be required would be an increase in the amount of $120,000 in the capital projects fund or account. That concludes my report, and staff is available for questions.
All right. We start with John.
Couple things. One, this is far more affordable than the one that I had seen last year. I think I showed Justin. It was only about a 400-foot pole. I don't remember how big the flag was, but it was massive, and that would be very expensive. Two things, though. One, I think if we're going to go down this route of pursuing this, I think the entire thing should be donated. It shouldn't come out of our funds. And in that total, I think we should also include the maintenance and the flag replacement for the first 5 to 10 years so that it gives us a chance to figure out where we're headed with our revenues and whatnot for the city down the road. Because $11,000 a year just maintenance for a flag, and that adds up. And then I think, it would look great out front, but we already have 3 poles out there. I think it would be an awesome addition to our Flag Hill Park, which we have a park named after, Flag Hill. I think it would be very fitting, and it would show our veterans and anybody that has served and given the ultimate sacrifice for our country in any of those branches of service and those SEALs that we have up there. It would show them our appreciation for their dedication and involvement in serving our country and providing for our freedoms. So I think that would be a better location, but I also think that the finances, we would need to include for at least the next 5 to 10 years worth of maintenance and flag replacement.
All right.
Okay, I'm a big believer in the flag. I fly it at my house year-round. I had to order a new one today because of the wind. It's tore mine up. I really kind of think we're getting the cart before the horse here. I think we need to step back, take a little more time, really study this, look at this better. I do like the donations. I would like to see the actual dollar amount of donations. And I went up to Flag Hill Park on Sunday, and I stood out on that point, and I looked out, and I thought, oh my gosh, how beautiful it would be up here. They would be able to see it for miles around. There were some people there, several people. I did my own little survey. And I said, how would you feel about having a 120-foot flag up here, a big flag up here on this point? And they said, that would be great. We love this park up here. That would be a beautiful place for it. And I know it's easy to get caught up in this big year, the patriotism of it. I do have a problem with, we've just approved the 4th of July, and now we want to go back in the same amount of time and ask the public, the businesses, for more donations. I think that's asking a lot of them, and I just really don't like that. So I think, Justin, I'm not opposed to the flag. I just think we need to step back, take a little more time. We've got the whole year for the 250th. And I think I have to be physical responsible on this rather than patriotic.
Okay. Bob?
Yeah, 120,000 isn't enough. I want $240,000 because I want to put one at City Hall and one at Flag Hill Park. And that's the discussion I had. Someone in the community actually messaged me that to remind me that we have a Veterans Flag Hill Park that is in disrepair. We have a Yucaipa Community Foundation, a nonprofit, that we need to start leaning on more for donations like this. I've spoke to Stater Brothers. They're very interested in partnering with us in this project. In fact, one of their logos is the American flag, stars and stripes banner, and their Stater Brothers logo. They're as patriot as they come, and they just installed this size flag at their 29 Palms Stater Brothers to commemorate the 250th anniversary of the United States Marine Corps, the finest fighting force the world has ever seen. And so they know what it's about to do this. They want to partner with us. American Eagle Construction, I'm going to say it one more time because the name is fitting. American Eagle Construction, based right here out of Yucaipa, wants to be involved in this project. They want to put an American flag in front of our Civic Center and eventually on Flag Hill Park because it is something that's important. Again, I'm not going to be here 150 more years sitting on this dais for the 300-year celebration of our nation. I think it's important, and I think it would be so impactful that on 4th of July to have we have the show down at the high school, but the morning of here, do a big dedication of a monumental standard of our nation's, or our nation in front of our Civic Center. And I know when I got a hold of the mayor and then Dr. Moran said, I want to do this on 4th of July, they gave me some really funny looks because that's a short, I think private industry could do it. A company will do it in a couple weeks. But whenever you involve the government, everything has to come to a screeching halt, and there has to be endless dialogue, and we need to probably form a committee. We probably should hire a consultant to tell us how to do this, because that's how government works. You can't make decisions. You got to hire people to make your decisions for you, government. But if this was American Eagle Construction or Stater Brothers, they would have go to the city and ask for a permit to put a giant flag in front of their business and have been done in a few weeks. I don't think we should spend money on this project. I think, and I've done the same thing that Councilwoman Woolsey's done. I've gone around the city and I've talked to all manner of people. This is supported. And honestly, when I say it in this way, you know how Trump is building a ballroom without touching the general fund? I want to do the same thing in Yucaipa with a giant flag, and they're like, yes. And I don't want you to spend money on it. We should be putting money. So I want to see. We've gone to all these. Every time I go to a fast food restaurant, they're like, "Would you like to round up for whatever charitable cause? Whatever. Would you like to round up for this?" I want that in every business in Yucaipa. Round up for the flag. I want people to know that phrase intimately for the next several months. Would you like to round up for the flag? I want donation boxes in front of businesses. I want people to go and Stater Brothers will take a big donation, but we the people made this nation, and we the people can fund this flag. We just have to come together and do it. And there's a story on the internet the other day about a young man who had his entire tuition paid by like sending out thousands of letters across the nation asking for a penny. Just a penny. Mail me back a penny, please. And they did, and he generated thousands of dollars off pennies, because one penny out of my pocket's not going to break the bank. But $150,000 to support year-over-year flag repair is an impact on our general fund. But if we all come up with a little something and support our hometown, I think we can have something to be proud of on the 250th anniversary of our nation. So with that being said, I understand that because this is a civic project, we have to make a decision here tonight in order to get that ball rolling. I want staff to help us work with that 501c, the Yucaipa Community Foundation, to get the messaging out there. Would you like to round up for the flag? I want the Yucaipa, what do we call it? No. I think you said something, Mr. City Attorney, about the Patriot Plaza. What did you call this area out here?
I think I did suggest Patriot
The Patriot Plaza. Our city attorney is as God-fearing patriot as anybody I've ever met. I'll have you know. When he heard this idea, he's like, the Patriot Plaza. It just sounds fitting. And I want to lean on those entities in the community that value our American heritage and American exceptionalism. And while yes, you said it. We have three flagpoles outside. I want to do bigger, better. And by God, if we can make it happen, I want to make it happen by the 4th of July even. Now I get it. Do we have the full year? The entire year, 2026 actually until July of next year, we are celebrating 250 years of independence. So we are 16 months, 17 months, 15 months ahead of schedule before we end this 250 year celebration. And I know that our city manager has already reached out to the congressman's office with an official invitation to the United States president to be here to help us dedicate this flag. It's a tall order, but you're never going to get anywhere if you don't ask. And I just want to make it grand. I want to make it a grand affair for our nation. I think it's deserving of that. And I think patriotism is lacking in our society everywhere else, but not here, not in Yucaipa. We're a town of patriots, and we love our nation. And I think we can make this happen. So my recommendation is, my motion is going to be that regarding item 14, that my motion is that we approve not Civic Center flagpole project, the Patriot Plaza in front of City Hall, that we allow for sponsorships to take place so people can buy in with their logo on a plaque and a monument to know that on the 250th year, we were a part of this project. Stater Brothers, which by the way, they didn't pay into the 4th of July. So we're not taxing them for a 4th of July and a flagpole. This is separate. And there's a lot of entities in Yucaipa that hadn't ponied up any money to help support a 4th of July, but I can bet you there people are going to be going and benefiting from it. And if that's the case, then at the 4th of July extravaganza, what do we call it? Freedom Fest. Yes? Did we call it Freedom Fest in the past? I think we did. Well, damn it, we should. Freedom Fest. If we don't make our July 4th deadline to get the flagpole erected, well, we can be selling merchandise to support the flag project. We can be selling challenge coins to support the flag project at Patriot Plaza. This is a project that I think the community can get behind. And let's pull this up. We were a runner-up in 2011, and we've heard nothing since then about us being a runner-up to the All-American City Award. But when I was just in Fayetteville, North Carolina, they received it like the last 6 years in a row. They're done. They've had their time. It's our time to be an all-American city, and I think we need to put our signage up that says Yucaipa was an all-American city in 2026 and 250th anniversary of our nation. So my recommendation is not just going to be for the flag, but to direct staff to pursue that as well, and to have the appropriate budget set aside, understanding that I'm not going to support spending the money until we have the money raised by our community for the flag. But I understand that in order to move forward, we have to have the budget to offset the cost there. So that's fine. Put an account, label the account the Freedom, or the Patriot Plaza. Don't touch it. We're going to get the money elsewhere, and we're going to pay for it that way. That's my recommendation.
That's right. Martha?
You know, we sit here and listen to Chelsea. I think it was Chelsea, right? Came up and spoke. She says that, what is Yucaipa about? What is Yucaipa about? What we need to get back to Yucaipa, not the big warehouses and everything like that. Where did we go? And we've always been a patriot city. And that's where what she wants to see. That's what our citizens all want to see. So I'm 100% for this. And like she says, let's get Yucaipa back to Yucaipa the way it used to be. So you got a motion.
Did my motion make sense? I've talked for a while. I want to make sure that I'm clear. I don't want to spend, don't
Understood,
cut the
Deputy
check.
Mayor.
Okay. Don't cut the check, but let's move forward. Let's have a plan. And again, I said 240. I didn't say 120 because Councilman Thorpe's right. We have a speaker here who speaks to us all the time. Mr. Duran speaks to us all the time. He's a proud Marine veteran. And our Veterans Flagpole Park, I'll tell you right now, Diane Smith, as a commissioner on the Parks and Recs Commission years ago, told me that our Flagpole Park's in disrepair. It's in desperate need of attention. And so this shouldn't stop with the flagpole at 2 locations. We should have a fund that we continuously raise money because our veterans deserved to be recognized. And we have a fifth branch of the armed forces that is altogether unrepresented at our Veterans Flagpole Park. Maybe we have no veterans of the Space Force yet, but it is a branch of our military that needs to be recognized. And so, actually, I take it back. Did I hear, unfortunately, tragically, a Space Force Guardian was killed in Iran? Did anybody hear this? I thought I heard a story that somebody said he was actually a Guardian was killed. This would be the first KIA. Either way, listen, our history of Yucaipa is rooted in those who have taken up arms to fight for our nation and to recognize that this is a patriotic town. We need to do better by them. And so I don't want it to stop with just the flags. I think that Yucaipa Community Foundation could team up with the VFW, can team up with the American Legion, and we can have a year-over-year funding to help make that park even better. And that with the help of I Love Yucaipa and Calamasa, I think it's April 25th is the day that they're having their I Heart Yucaipa Calamasa Day, would be a great project at Flagpole Park as well. So I was clear on my motion.
Crystal clear.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, we got a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second as long as it's on donations. As long as it's on donations.
Yeah. Okay, so we got a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Okay, I'll vote yes.
All right. All right, we got a 5-0 vote.
Mayor, Council, we'll get the RFP out right away, and we'll try to get everything done by the July 1st deadline for the flag out front.
Let's get that branding out there. Round up for the flag. I think it can be a community. Yucaipa Bulletin. Round up for the flag. Let's get businesses on board. I don't see the chamber here. If we get the Chamber of Commerce to be involved, I think there's a way we can do it. So thank you.
All right. What a good night.
Indeed.
So we got Councilman, any business reports, John? And and we know Judy does.
February 26th, I attended the Oh Wow Water Zoom meeting here at the City Hall. And that evening, I went to a reception for Carrie Schindler, who is the new executive director for the SBCTA. And that was sponsored by Move California. On the 27th, the Elks Lodge First Responders Appreciation Dinner. And it was attended by several of our police and our sheriffs and our firefighters. And did you have a good time? It was good, yeah, good. They do that every year. March 1st, I attended the first coalition, how do you say it? Coalition? Event for the wine industry coalition at the Sacred Oak Vineyards in Cherry Valley. Oh, what a beautiful place that is up there. On the 2nd, the Yucaipa Valley Water District meeting. On the 3rd, Omnitrans, and Omnitrans receives 2% of the Measure I funds to support transportation for seniors and individuals with disabilities. And Yucaipa will be receiving 2 more years of funding on that. Also, right after that was the SBCTA meeting, and Mayor Venable was able to join us. He is the alternate for that. And then he had a meeting afterwards, so I'll let him talk about that if he wants. On March 5th, the chamber breakfast, we had a full house, and Dr. Moore gave a very informative presentation, and I think it was a big hit. And then when I left there, I came right back here for a SCAG Zoom meeting, and I gave all that information to Fermin. I hope some of it was helpful. On the 7th, Saturday, I attended the YMRA meeting, and Dr. Moore spoke there and gave another good presentation. And Justin, your grandfather was there.
Oh, good.
I got to meet him, the one that he told us last time about jumping out of the plane.
Yeah.
He was a very nice man. I enjoyed him.
He fooled you then.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Well, I won't tell you what he told me about
Okay,
you.
okay. That sounds about right. That's tracking.
That's all.
All right. Bob? All right. Mr. Beaver?
It's not really professional, more personal, but it's not every day that somebody gets to do this in my shoes. So I am so proud to announce that my beautiful wife, Lavina, and I are now expecting our first child together. We anticipate the newest resident of our city at that time will be joining us late in August of 2026. So prayers for a healthy, beautiful baby. Thank you.
That's great. They're going to say today's Parents' Day, not Grandparents' Day, when he gets there.
Yes.
Anyways, what a great night. This has been a great night. So thank you guys for everything. We do have, I think, still on the Park and Recs, we still have a young man or a young woman that needs to be on board, or is she, or he, high school rep? We're still looking for a high school rep. Planning Commission is still down 1. Yep, and still accepting applications for that. Youth Advisory are amazing still. Just, are they, they're, yes. So I did go to the SPCA.
SPCTA.
TCS. Anyways, with Miss Woolsey, and they had the mayor's vote for their staff, right? It was right.
It's kind of, the way I understand it, they do it every 2 years. The mayor's vote, if they're not there, they have a councilman go, and they kind of vote on the main people that vote for the different committees, to appoint the different committees. That's the way I understood it. Yeah.
So we voted for the chair and stuff. It was pretty interesting. But I seen John.
Well, I didn't, but.
You didn't? No.
Well, no.
Anyways, so other than that, oh yeah, take a hike. I'm sorry, take a hike. It was record-breaking the last few times. It's just fantastic what the Trails and Open Spaces do, and come and join us. I have my grandson, so I'm gonna try to get there, but, yeah, so anyways, please, everybody else come. All right, so now it's Mr. City Manager, any announcements?
None, Mayor, Council.
All right. The next regular meeting is Monday, March 23rd, 2026. And I'm going to adjourn this meeting at 8:05.